Yeah, so can you explain me a little bit more about what you do? You fill empty spaces in trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, is just cargo going to magically appear out of thin air? How does that work?
No, so actually all the trucks that you see on the roads in Europe, 50% are empty, 30% totally empty in domestic areas, and on top of that, more than 30% partly empty. However, of course, you cannot utilize everything, but you absolutely can do something. And if we mentioned low margin, if you're finding a solution to fill those trucks, actually pure profit, because you already paid all the expenses. So how we're actually doing it? We are connecting to the planning system of the trucking companies, and we have a big database of the routes and the available capacity in the cargo space.
So you're actually like a matchmaking platform, maybe almost a Tinder for trucks? Can I call it like that?
The first, but we're not only matching, we're actually going to the date as well.
Okay,
so,
yeah, okay.
So we do the match, and afterward we're managing the transactions. So we're making the payments and making sure that everything is in order, the track and trace, all the paperwork. So in order to save time for both parties, we're taking over all the transactions.
All the transactions. You just mentioned that you particularly chose the Netherlands as your launching hub for your startup. Your business mentor and investor, Annegien Blokpoel, she told us that you actually went on an elaborate roadshow almost across Europe, scouting for cities and accelerators and incubators to help you out. Why such an elaborate roadshow, and can you maybe go into a little bit more detail why you chose the Netherlands and start a bootcamp in particular?
Course, yes. So I'm very arrogant person. I used to be, at least. So when I started the business in Israel, I thought I have an amazing plan, an amazing product, and I sold my car, my house, everything actually, and I created quite a nice platform. However,
you went all in.
Yeah. However, the market was totally in a different place.
Dead,
so, for instance, if we developed Android app, but still most of the drivers are still using the walkie-talkie. So I could learn it before, but I didn't, and I knew it. But I thought that I can change their behavior, and that's a huge mistake, especially for a startup. So my lesson was that the real market that I'm going is the softest land I can possibly do. So in order not to choose the wrong market, I decided to take 3 months and actually to spend
3 months.
3 months, yes, in Germany, Poland, UK, Netherlands, and speak with many companies as possible in order to make sure and to feel where will be the right market. And of course, I took a lot of research, and I found out that the Netherlands, in two main reasons, is the best. First is the hub of logistics. If you look about Schiphol, Rotterdam, also in Venlo, that concentrating a lot of goods. And if you connect it to the rural area in Germany and the Flemish part of Belgium, is the most dense area of goods in Europe. So it's actually quite small country, but in matter of logistics, it's the biggest.
Yeah, can you say something about in percentages?
Yeah, so if you're looking for all this area that I mentioned, it's about 30% of all Europe together. So only because of those 3 points. So if you look you can look about Amsterdam, Antwerp, and the Essen, for instance, in the rural area. This is the hub, the biggest blue banana. It's called
the blue banana.
The blue banana. Yes.
Okay, really, I didn't know.
All the flows of the logistic in Europe comes from there.
So where will this lead next to? Because you're really hyper-focused on these small parts of the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany, the blue banana, as you called it. What other markets are interesting for you?
As I mentioned, it's the biggest market actually in logistics. But we are looking for any northwest European countries, because the way of working is more or less the same. The IT system that the companies working are more or less the same. So we're looking for the Benelux, Germany, and the UK mainly.
So will you ever go back to Israel, or will you stay, in Amsterdam forever, get married, have a couple of kids? you know, sell your startup?
Yeah, I must say that the sun is quite a topic for me.
Yeah.
I used to I born and raised in the Negev, so it's very hot. It's
It's a
almost
desert, right?
Yes, yes. So it's a little bit different climate, but I really feel welcome here. And seriously, I think a lot of things have very good in matter of personal life and education and everything. So I would love to go back to Israel, but now I'm really realizing Quicargo, and I don't think it will end it soon. So hopefully.
So in Amsterdam is the best place for that.
Yeah,
at
it's
the
also
moment.
for headquarter because it's very easy to travel and centralized. It's very good. Yes, I think we're gonna be here for a long time.